We are ready to drop the puck on the 2023-24 National Hockey League season. We're going to answer some burning questions and prognosticate the best we can on October 10th because why not? Join us right now here on Teal Town Live as we begin the opening Faceoff. And with that, we say hello, hockey fans all over the world, and especially those in Sharks territory. We welcome you to our NHL opening face-off here on Teal Town, USA. This is live interactive, so we want you to be part of this. So if you want to, here's what you do. Chat with us and fellow hockey fans on the YouTube page or the app. Of course, follow us on the social for everything San Jose Sharks and San Jose Barracuda on Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, let's see, Reddit, Discord, TikTok. See, this is why we do these shows, to get us warmed up for the season. And find everything at tealtownusa.com. If you want to support the pod as well, hit us up at tealtownusa on the Venmo. And with that, I say hello, everyone, and I say hello. It's been a bit. Jules, we finally made it through the damn summer.
It's been too long. I miss hockey. I miss talking about how bad the Sharks are.
Don't worry, there'll be plenty of time for that.
God.
Sadly. That's why you have the hockey season as well. There are 31 other teams that will be trying to vie for the Stanley Cup. Okay, maybe not the Sharks or Anaheim, but I digress. But there are a number of topics we want to, kind of deep dive in, and we'll just go rapid fire before that Nashville-Tampa Bay game gets going at 2:30 local time here on the West Coast. So without further ado, let's get at it. All right, so the guy that Jules wishes was in teal is unfortunately in red and black. Those fuckers. Connor Bedard is a Chicago Blackhawk. Oh, those lucky bastards. But he had a pretty decent preseason, and it can only get better. And I think we've been a little spoiled from what Austin Matthews did in his debut season. So, Jules, I'll ask you this question: over under Bedard 30 goals on the year.
I'm split on this. I'm going to go for the over. I mean, okay, if he doesn't score in his first game, let's not all start freaking out, being like, oh, he's a bust. He's not a bust. I'm going to go for the over. I think he's going to get 35, 34, and probably win the Calder.
I would go with you on that. I'm thinking 35, 40, be quite honest. I think he's going to get a lot of lucky breaks in the year. But will that help Chicago? Probably not. If it does,
as long as they don't get Celebrini, I don't care. Celebrini is Sharks territory. Or
literally Sharks territory for Celebrini.
Yeah, there you go.
So, all right. So you're over. I'm over. I'll be surprised if barring injury like McDavid had his first year where he had that collarbone injury that restricted him.
The Blackhawks signed Corey Perry and Nick Foligno to $4 million contracts to protect Connor Bedard. So,
They had to spend their cap space somewhere.
That is true. They did.
Their opponent tonight, which is the middle game of the triple header to start the year, is the Pittsburgh Penguins, and some guy named Erik
Karlsson.
He looks awful in yellow. Dear God. Carly.
Please don't get 100 points again, Karlsson.
Wow. Well, she beat me to it, folks. So, Erik Karlsson, 100 points. No, if he does, that'd be surprising. But is he the Penguins' playoff savior? Is he the one that's going to get them over the hump and get him back to the Cup final before Crosby and Malkin hang it up?
The East is a bloodbath. I don't think so. You have teams like Carolina and New Jersey, who I think are honestly, they're my favorites to make it out of the East right now. I don't think this gets them over the hump. They're going to be fun to watch, and I think they'll get the wild card. I just don't see them beating any team like Carolina or New Jersey. So watch me be completely wrong and they beat them, but I don't think this gets them over the hump.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that goes with EK65 and Letang among company with Gensel, Sidney Crosby. I think we've heard of him before. This one's going to be a fun one to watch just to see Sid the Kid, who really isn't a kid anymore,
No.
and Connor Bedard doing his thing. So that'll be fun in the middle game on that tonight. Both of them are, Crosby and Bedard, incredible goal scorers in the past. One of which they'll be going after that award, the Rocket Richard.
Yep.
Cheech, never forget that year where you scored 56 goals. Indeed, one of the special moments. But rather than asking who will be the leading goal scorer and be the recipient, I'm going to ask you, the Rocket Richard winner is going to score how many goals this
I'm
year?
going to say 63. I think someone's going to explode this year. I mean, goal scoring has already been going up. I'm going to say 63. Someone's getting over 60 this year.
How many think you're going to get? 60.
I think McDavid's going to get 60 again. And I think Matthews is going to come back because he had a down season with 40 goals. I think he's going to come back and get 60, and it's going to be a dark horse race between McDavid and Matthews for who gets it.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to see. I mean, I would love to see the goal scoring going crazy. No offense to the goalie guild, Kevin Weeks, if you're watching. You know. What's up, NHL fans? This is Weeksy here. No, okay, all right, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see on that one. Just interesting what's going to happen here. And speaking of interesting, the now third year Seattle Kraken shocked the world, taking out the defending Stanley Cup champions in round one. Almost took out Joe Pavelski and the Dallas Stars in round two. A lot of expectations, big time for the Kraken, even though they were a wild card team last year. And you have Vegas, Edmonton, LA. So Jules, I'll come to you on this one. Kraken, Cup contender, or do they take a step back?
I think they're probably one of the more underrated teams in the NHL, in my opinion. They have really good players. They have really good depth. They kind of give me LA vibes where I would say LA is also a little underrated.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really deep. They have a really good forward core. Vince Dunn is a very underrated defenseman.
Love him.
I don't think they take a step back. Matty Beniers is ridiculous. I don't think they take a step back. I think they're back in the playoffs this year. I'm not sure as a wild card or not. I don't know where that seeding would land because the Pacific is kind of just like you have Edmonton and Vegas, and then it kind of just falls after that, like who lands where seeding wise. But I don't think they take a step back.
No, I think they kind of stay in the same spot where they get into the wild card or maybe the third in the Pacific.
Yeah.
But whoever their matchup is in the playoffs, and of course that's 6 months down the road, people. But Seattle looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, but you're right with LA in there too. I mean, they're right on the cusp of doing something special in Seattle and LA.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, nice segues. Thank you, Jules. We saw the Florida Panthers come out of nowhere as the quote unquote eighth seed, even though there isn't an eighth seed in the playoffs anymore, to take out the best team ever in the regular season. In the Boston Bruins, you had one of the teams that were supposed to be a Diamond Knight team in Toronto go down, and then you swept Brent Burns. How dare you?
How dare you?
And the Carolina Hurricanes only to lose to Vegas. Almost threw up there. In the Stanley Cup Finals. So
Yeah.
Panthers, you could have a number of teams. We talked about maybe Seattle, maybe LA, heck, Dallas, for that matter. Dark horses. I mean, it just seems like it can be a toss-up anywhere.
I think in the West it's probably Seattle, LA, like we said. I'm trying to think anyone. I think in the East, I don't know who a dark horse in the East is, just because I think Carolina and the Devils are so powerful. But I'm gonna go Boston Bruins. I think people are underrating their center core. I think Boston is they're sneakily right now, I think either underrated or really overrated, and there's no in between with them. But I think they're a dark horse. I just have a weird feeling that even them losing Bergeron and like Krejci, they're still going to be really good because their center core is really young, and you never know what you're getting with those young guys. So
And they've always had a decent development system where they've grown, and maybe it's their time.
McAvoy appeared out of nowhere, so
Right.
you never know.
Yeah, and DeBrusque is one of my favorites on that team as well. Love their jerseys for the Centennial. Really nice touch. Eric Bottomer, you are an amazing person with jersey design. We'll miss you at Adidas. So you have all those, but of course you can't talk about a cup until you talk about the last time Canada won the whole damn thing. 1993, Montreal hoisted the Stanley Cup. Oh, look, there's Vinny Domfus on the left side, one of my favorite Sharks of all time. You mentioned McDavid and Matthews. Those are probably your two best bets. You talk about the last 20 years, every team except for Winnipeg has made it to the Stanley Cup final. In the last 20 years, I think Calgary is the one that hasn't gone the furthest besides Winnipeg in 2004. So, Jules, is the time nigh for Canada to end their Stanley Cup curse?
I don't have any Canadian teams in my Stanley Cup, like who I think is going to make the Stanley Cup Finals this year. I think Edmonton is going to make it far. I don't see them beating a certain team, which I'll announce later on who I think that team is. I think Edmonton's going to be good. I think Toronto's going to be good. I don't see them beating any of the teams I have, like going to the Cup final. So no, I don't think this is the year. I'm sorry to any people who live in Canada right now who are watching want to scream. This isn't their year. I think there's just too many good teams that are still there. Yeah.
7 Canadian teams. How many get in?
Oh, God. The thing is, Vancouver and Calgary are so hard to predict, but I think Edmonton and Toronto for sure make it in. Winnipeg, I don't know what they're doing. I'm going to be so honest. I'm going to say at least 3 of them make it. And then you have Ottawa, who's also a wild card. So I can't really tell you. I'm going to say 3 or 4 make it in.
Yeah, I think Montreal's still on the rise. Ottawa, Winnipeg, even though they locked up, Hellebuck and Scheifele.
I will say Winnipeg did very well on the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade.
Yes, they did.
So you never know what's going to come from there. It's just hard to predict like Winnipeg and Vancouver and Calgary who don't have really a direction. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. And you said Vancouver, so we have to say it for the first time.
Did somebody say
Vancouver? Brings a nice warm fuzzies all around, Hey, and we want to hear from you in the chat. I know there's some people watching, and I know it's a crazy 5:30 start to the season. But put your comments in below. What do you think about about Bedard's chances, Pittsburgh's chance to perform good and reach playoffs?
I think they're going to reach the playoffs. I don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Penguins are in a weird spot where you can't really trade away anyone because of Crosby, Malkin, and Letang still there. So Dubas kind of just has to make do out of something. And again, this might be completely wrong and they might be better than people are thinking, but I don't see them making it out of like the first or second round.
It kind of reminds me of the Sharks when they acquired Erik Karlsson.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
It's like their last gasp. They want to try and get one more chance at winning it all one more time. So, yeah. And speaking of one more time, and we apologize to our Sharks fans, this might be graphic to what I'm about to show you.
Oh God, that's so sad. Man.
Oh, that's sickening. Okay. And Jonathan Marchus, too. Okay. They won the cup. They are celebrating, and boy, howdy, did they celebrate. My goodness. My oh me. And they did it in convincing fashion. Congratulations to them. They get the banner raise tonight. I expect it to be ridiculous how loud banner it is. And I hope you all, as much as we like to, poop on the nights, enjoy it, embrace it, have fun. So, Jules, I wanted you to call your shot. Cup final will be against which 2 teams? One from the East, one from the West?
I have Dallas and the Hurricanes. for in the Cup final, and I have Hurricanes winning in 6.
Oof.
So Pavelski versus Burns, let's do that. But
Oh
no, I
God.
think the Hurricanes, they have probably one of the best defensive cores in the league. They're ridiculously deep on forward. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Hurricanes Dallas. Dallas has like Matt Duchene at $3 million as their like third line center. Like Dallas is very deep. I think the Hurricanes, and don't get me wrong, I think the Devils are gonna make it far, mainly because I want that first round pick this year, so the Sharks would have 3 first round picks. So yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna say Dallas and Toronto,
Oh,
and I say Dallas because Pavs is just gonna take them full on charge, and we won't hear the end of it from our colleagues, all year long. And Toronto, I'll use my where is it? I'll use my dangle sounder.
Why not?
I mean, it's at this time where it's like they got to get something going. You replace your GM. I know they extended their coach, but something's got to give in the next few months here.
I think the thing that's interesting with Toronto is there's going to be a big discussion about William Nylander and
I
what
was
he
just
does
going to
with
get to
his
that.
yeah, and what he does with his signing, because Toronto is kind of fascinating with their cap, because like they have Mitch, like they just signed Austin to the huge new deal, which he's totally worth it. But now what are they going to do with Nylander? So all the talk is going to be what are they going to do with Nylander? Yeah, I like Toronto. They're a good team. I don't see them beating a team like the Canes or the Devils, even, to be honest.
Right, and
So
it's does now we'll just go off the cuff here.
yeah.
Nylander at the trade deadline, is he a Leaf?
I think if they don't have a contract for him signed by then, he's getting traded. I think Steve Dangle will cry if they let Nylander walk for nothing.
So will Jesse, for that matter.
So will Jesse. Jesse, I don't know if you guys saw the SDPN Sharks preview. He loves Swedish men named William. So, yeah, I think Jesse will also cry. Yeah. So I think if they don't have a contract, he's traded. And honestly, I could see a team like the Ducks being interested in him. Like, you never know. I think the Ducks are going to be better than people expect also. Like they're a bit too talented to not be. Like they have John Gibson in net. So y'all chill on the Duck hatred.
Well, I will not forgive him after what he did in the 2019 All-Star game in San Jose. I mean, he just were like frickin' District 5 Goldberg.
Yeah.
Just like, just give everything away. So
Yeah, that is true.
all right, so let's keep going here. We still got a few more minutes before Nashville and Tampa drop the puck here. Kind of going back onto the East, the East bulked up at the deadline. It seemed like everybody went from West to East, and they beat the crap out of each other, and Vegas kind of took advantage of it.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the same thing again in the West? I know, you mentioned Matt Duchene. Colorado's, still bulking up, even though with still no Landeskog again. And then you talk about the up-and-comers like Seattle, LA. I hate to say Dallas is an up-and-comer when they made the Western Final, but
I mean, they're very young. Like Jake Ottinger, Miro Heiskanen, Jason Robertson, their new young core. They're very young, so they kind of are up and coming. They've just have won a lot for their ages, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Jesse L in the chat. Canes can't get over the second, third round hump. They keep being too hurt to get there.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that about a lot of teams, though.
Yeah.
Like some teams just can't. They give me Washington Capitals before they won the Cup in 2018.
Yeah.
Just could not get over it, and then finally got over it. Dallas, New Jersey.
Yeah. That would be a.
That would be high scoring. I would love to see that.
Now refresh me here. What's the condition on Timo's trade? They have to get to the conference final?
They have to get to the Eastern Conference final in order, I think, from what I remember, in order to be a first round. Because let's say they make it to the Eastern Conference final, you'll get pick 30, hopefully 31, and then Penguins get out in the first round. You have pick 17, 19, and then you have the first overall pick. You have 1, 19, and 30 all in the first round.
Yeah, that'd be.
You're getting that would be and with the depth that this draft has on defense, like that would be insanity for the Sharks. Like that's what we should be cheering for, our Sharks fans.
So
this draft is insane on defense. Let's get the most picks we can.
So that goes to what I was going to do for the Sharks. AJ Jerk, forgive me. Lottery winner.
San Jose.
It's basically saying who's going to be the worst team, but gets the luck out of it all.
Y'all, Celebrini is going to be a Shark. Hopefully, either Celebrini or Yzerman are going to be Sharks, and we are all going to be super happy about it.
I would just love for Celebrini to be it because he had a moment as a junior Shark. I'm sure the organization would go nuts over that. To land Celebrini. And to have Eklund and Bordeleau make the opening night roster. We'll see how long they last with some of the injuries.
Yeah. I think Boards is going to get sent down once Couture is healthy. Eklund isn't leaving. Eklund was demolishing preseason. Like, I know Quinn made some comments that he wasn't, but, like, Eklund, even when he had one of his worst games, was one of the best players on this team. Like, Eklund's here, guys. Like, he's here, and he's going to break out either this year or next year. So,
yeah. No, it's going to be fun. It'll be interesting to see how it happens. I just hope he is who we thought he is, when we selected him 7th overall. That would be a fun one to watch and everything there.
Going back to that draft, this is semi-off topic. Some people projected him higher than Owen Power at the time. Like, he was boarded to be, like, 1st or 2nd. So, like, I think he'll pan out.
I'll never forget that show when I was doing the first round show and Kevin jumped on and just seeing the jaw drop for that William Eklund was still there, and he turns around to the take says, "What are we doing? Gotta get Eklund."
That's such a good pickup.
Yeah, so that's gonna be an interesting one, and the throw in Will Smith in there, and I love Quentin Musty.
The line of Eklund, Bordeleau, and Musty. I literally died when I saw that in a preseason game.
Yes, I think both of us were excited in our group chat. That's going to be a fun one for sure. Ovechkin has 822 goals going into the season. And I'm not going to get crazy here and say he's going to, tie Gretzky, by the end of the season, but does he get in within the teens by the end of the year?
I think he does. I think Ovechkin does not care about winning. I mean, he probably does care about winning the cup. Don't take that wrong. I don't see the Capitals making the playoffs, but I think if the Caps are, like, out of the playoffs, Ovechkin's only one goal right now is to pass that record and then retire. Like, I'm pretty certain that's what that man's thinking, and I think he's going to pop off this year, get pretty close to the teens, and then break that record the following year. So, yeah, I would, that's my thought on that.
All right. Let's hear some of your cup projections here. I know we've got some already in the chat, but before we take off, would love to see what we got going on here for sure. So
also, I saw in the chat, those Vegas rings are legit. They are so cool. I don't know if you guys saw them. Go look at them on Twitter or whatever, or X, I'm sorry, but, like, they are insane. They are ridiculous. I saw that. I was like, okay, that is, I hate Vegas, but that's cool.
Let's see if I can pull it up. They just get more elaborate and elaborate every year. How they can take the top off, which concerns me a bit, and make it into a necklace. That's just crazy. And what we can do with the design and such of jewelry here. I love how I search Golden Knights rings and you see everything that I'm popping up here. Of course. So here, before we go, kind of got to pull it back a little bit. Unfortunately, over under at least one player using Pride tape this season.
Oh my God!
Since that has become the biggest topic in the last couple of days.
I really hope players
social media.
I hope whichever player wants to can use it. When the NHL announced that, I thought that was, like, fake. Like, I did not believe they would actually do that. I'm hoping players do that. Like, that's just a personal thing. I'm hoping players do that. So I'm hoping for the over, but we'll see what the NHL does, because that was, yeah.
Just ridiculous.
Just absolutely ridiculous.
And I love how the Sharks have gone ahead and already unveiled the Los Tiburones jerseys.
Yeah.
On the 14th. Have no idea where in the heck they're going to be wearing that, because now they can't let I lost my train of thought. You can't wear them in practice, can't wear them pregame, can't wear them during the game. So I'm like wondering,
just
where we
break the rules. What is NHL going to do, man?
Yeah.
Like are they going to fine players for having pride tape? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
People.
Well, an interesting thing from our friends at Let's Go Blues Radio is that they found a rule where you can have whatever color tape you want. So it's kind of a little bit of a loophole. We'll see if that changes within the next month or so, I guess. Vincent Alvarado in the chat. Should we be worried this team gets hot at the end and miss out on first overall again?
No, this team is not going to get hot. No, they're going to be trading half their roster at the deadline. No,
no. We wonder if they're going to have okay, here, we'll do this one. Over under 10 overtime losses this year.
Oh God. No more overtime losses, please. I can't. I'm hoping for the under, but realistically, because it's the Sharks, it's going to be the over.
Yes.
They will score more. I will say that. Like their offense should be better. Should is the key word in that sentence. Like Duclair is going to help the offense. Like whether or not he stays the whole year, we'll see. But yeah.
And Zadina is a great risk. He's putting a risk on himself to make it happen. I'm like wondering. I see a couple people saying over, a couple people saying under. And oh wow, this one has a YouTube channel. All right, Fanatic sucks. How bad will the specialty jerseys be next season? They probably won't have any.
It's probably just not going to happen anymore. Yeah,
they'll probably be sent off to the wrong team, and the logo would be already ripping off. Let's be honest here.
Yep.
So, with that, we are 3 minutes from puck drop between Nashville and Tampa to kick off the season. Jules, I know you've been a busy person lately, and appreciate you, and can't wait to get things started here on the Teal Town side of things. I know we do. We kind of did some NHL stuff, but for the Sharks, can't wait to have you jump on for After Dark the entire season, and we personally thank you for that. Please, thank you. So.
I'm excited, y'all. Get ready for a long and tiring season where we repeat the same things 8 different times.
Yes. Tankini for Celebrini, everyone.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So, hey, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Give us a thumbs up if you really like this video. Of course, hit that notification bell. We do go live after every Sharks game, home and away. We will be back on the air Thursday following Sharks and Golden Knights. Gee, I wonder how that game's going to go. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, if you missed anything or want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, you can smash the like, sub, and bell buttons on the YouTube channel. So with that, let's drop the puck. Predators, Lightning, let's do this. All right? Have a great one, everyone, and we'll see you Thursday following Sharks and Knights. Keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great one. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Oh, there we go. We got that one. There.